Everyone gasped when the store manager raised his phone and shouted, "Here is the proof." The bright screen showed a clear photo of a woman slipping a diamond necklace into her bag, taken inside the luxury jewelry store only minutes ago. The music at the launch event seemed to die mid-note. Conversation stopped like someone cut a wire. Heads turned all at once, and the crowd's faces changed from polite smiles to sharp, hungry judgment. Two security guards moved fast and blocked the glass exit, standing wide like a wall. The woman in the photo stood right there, in the center aisle between glass display cases, hands open, shoulders still, face calm but pale. Her name was Evelyn Cross. She wore a simple navy blazer and white blouse among guests dressed in silk and gold, and suddenly she looked like she did not belong in the same air as them. The manager's voice stayed loud on purpose. "You stole our centerpiece diamond," he said, turning the phone toward the crowd like a trophy. "Worth over $2 million. People whispered without even lowering their voices. "Look at her bag. She's pretending. They always do this." Someone lifted their own phone to record. Another person stepped back as if guilt was contagious. Evelyn's eyes moved from the photo to the empty necklace stand behind the glass, then to the guards who were already deciding her fate. "I didn't take it," she said, steady and quiet. The manager laughed like her words were nothing. "The camera doesn't lie," he said. The guard closest to her tightened his jaw. Evelyn did not argue. She glanced down at her silver wristwatch as if time mattered more than shouting. Then she said, calmly, 8 minutes. The words landed strange in the air. Even the guards paused for a heartbeat. The manager smirked. "And what happens in 8 minutes?" he asked, enjoying the attention. Evelyn didn't answer him. She bent slowly, placed her small black crossbody bag on the polished floor, unzipped it carefully, and turned it upside down. Nothing fell out. No velvet pouch. No sparkle. No necklace. Just empty space and the soft sound of a zipper. For a second, the crowd hesitated, but the hesitation didn't turn into support. People still trusted the photo more than the living truth in front of them. Evelyn straightened up, breathed in, and said softly, "Please wait." The minutes stretched like the store itself was holding its breath. Security stayed close, hands near Evelyn's arms, ready to grab her if she tried to run, but she never moved toward the door. She stood in the same spot, calm, almost too calm for the moment, and that calm made some people uneasy. Guests leaned closer in a half-circle, like an audience around a stage. Some recorded with their phones. Some smiled because drama made them feel important. The manager kept talking, filling every gap with power. "We run a trusted brand," he said, pacing in front of the glass cases. "We do not allow thieves. Reputation matters. If we let one person walk out, the whole city hears about it." His words were sharp and clean, designed to sound like justice even when they were only humiliation. Evelyn watched him without blinking much. Her eyes moved across the room, noticing who looked away, who stared, who wanted to speak but didn't. She asked again, simple and clear, "Show the full footage." The manager waved her off with a quick hand. "We already have enough," he snapped. "You were seen taking it." Evelyn nodded once, like she was listening to a report, not an attack. "That picture was taken at 7:12, she said. "Check the time." The manager's smile froze for half a second, then returned. "So what?" he said. Evelyn turned slightly toward the nearest guard, not begging, just stating facts. "At 7:12, that display was locked for cleaning," she said. "The case is sealed during that window." The guard frowned, his eyes shifting toward the display case as if trying to remember policy. Murmurs grew louder. "Is that true? Why would the case be locked?" The manager's voice cut through. "Again. Enough games," he barked. Evelyn looked down at her watch once more, like she was counting quietly. 4 minutes left, she said. Now the manager's confidence started to thin around the edges. He demanded the inventory log, but his eyes avoided the camera operator's desk. The operator, a young man with a headset, sat stiffly behind a laptop and small monitor, fingers hovering like he was afraid to touch the wrong key. A woman in the crowd finally spoke louder than a whisper. "If you have nothing to hide, show the video," she said. A few people nodded, but not many. The manager turned red and snapped, "This is not a debate." He tried to pull the room back under his control. He stepped closer to Evelyn, pointing hard, like his finger could become a verdict. "You think you can stall us? You think you can act innocent and walk away?" Evelyn didn't flinch. She didn't raise her voice. She only held his stare and waited, as if she knew something he didn't. When the glass doors opened, silence fell in a heavier way now, not the silence of spectators, but the silence of people sensing the floor move under them. The official continued, clear and calm. "Evelyn Cross is the lead insurance auditor assigned to this brand after multiple red flags were reported." The manager's phone dipped lower in his hand as if it suddenly weighed too much. Evelyn finally spoke with the same calm, but now it sounded like the end of a long wait. "The photo you showed is real," she said, "but it was cropped." She nodded toward the AV desk. "Play the full clip." The operator hesitated, eyes flicking to the manager, then to the officials. His throat moved as he swallowed. Then he pressed play. The video ran longer this time, and everything in the room changed. It showed the manager earlier at the display case, opening it with practiced ease, removing the diamond necklace, and passing it to someone just off camera. Then it showed him later, shifting his position so the camera angle caught Evelyn. Raised, at the people who had wanted her to be guilty because it was easy. "You used fear and images to control people," she said, voice steady. "And you counted on silence." The guard stepped away from Evelyn and moved toward the manager. The officials opened their folders and spoke in short, hard facts, missing inventory, altered timestamps, repeated complaints, fake reports. Each item felt like a door closing. The manager's shoulders sagged. His confidence collapsed into panic. "This is a misunderstanding," he tried, but it sounded weak even to him. The necklace was recovered, and the manager was escorted toward the exit, his phone now useless in his hand. The crowd didn't cheer. Some looked angry, but most looked ashamed. Evelyn picked up her bag and held it close, not like a prize, but like a piece of herself she refused to hand over to strangers. She glanced at her watch one last time. 8 minutes, she said quietly, almost to herself. That's all it took. People began to dr.